Welcome back to the 2017 GLVC kickoff event powered by Sling Studio. Today we enlist our 8 football schools to help promote its Conference 6 season on several platforms. And over the next 90 minutes, we encourage GLVC football fans to follow along on GLVCSN.com and interact with our coaches and players on all of the GLVC social media platforms. This is our formal press conference station where each school will preview its season in 10-minute interviews. I'm your moderator, John Edwards. Our first school joining us today is the Lincoln University. They enter the 2017 season off their third year as a GLVC associate member. In the GLVC Preseason Poll just released, the coaches have picked Lincoln to finish 8th. Joining us today is first-year head coach Stephen A. Smith, junior wide receiver Anthony Townsend, and senior linebacker Addison Tucker. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Coach, welcome to your first ever GLVC football kickoff event. We know you're excited to get after it, so tell us all about what you've been able to get in information-wise in your tenure so far at Lincoln University.
Everything's been going well. Came in December, and we able to recruit some good guys and bring them in and get them acclimated during the spring, as well as our signing day that was in February, and be able to put some guys that come in the summer and get acclimated with what we're doing and build a foundation. Right now, today was the last day for all our summer guys, and they're on their way home to enjoy a week and a half with the parents, and just kind of relax a little bit, and then we'll be back. We start training camp on August 10th, and so I'm very pleased with what we've done in the spring and what we did in the summer. It was a big attest to our strength and conditioning coach, Zach Fierce. He did a great job with these guys and pushing them and getting them where they need to be. And so I think we're moving forward where we're trying to go.
Let's talk about a little bit about your offense. Just 9 returners this year on the offensive side, including one familiar face on the offensive side of the ball. That translates for a lot of opportunities right now for new players and returning players to step up. Talk a little bit about your offense.
Offensively, we're in a great situation right now. We got 3 quarterbacks right now that are competing. 2 that started in the spring, 1 that came in during the summer. They're competing right now for the opportunity to move forward. Who's going to be the starter? Our receiver course, we have a lot of depth, between freshmen and returning players, and some transfer. So we did that to bring the competition in. There's a lot of competition at the receiver position right now. Offensive line, it'll be a totally different. We only retain 1 guy from offensive line from the spring. So offensive line will be has been totally revamped in what we were trying to put together, as well as our running back position has been totally revamped in what we're trying to put together. So I'm very pleased with what we have. I think we'll be very dominant in what we do, because that's just the base of our offense and how we are. I think we'll do well in the passing game as well as in the running game, and try to put ourselves in the best possible position to score, but also be able to take the time of possession and keep our defense off the field to keep them fresh and be able to do the things they need to do defensively.
Anthony, you were an all-GLVC honorable mention selection last year. You returned for your junior season. Talk about some of your goals heading into this year, and what kind of leadership role are you taking on?
Some of the goals that I have is, number one, number one is do my task. If I do my task and, make sure I have my brother's back, then everything else will fall in place. So for this summer, I just made sure I just pushed my hardest every single day. I worked my hardest, studied the plays my hardest, as far as the receiver core, helping other receivers study the plays and being a mentor and a coach for them. That's going to help me be a leader myself. And I just got to make sure I got to push the man next to me. That's also going to make me work harder and just come for game 1, be ready to play.
Coach, give us a preview of your defense. 8 starters returned, 3 all-GLVC honorees, including 1 sitting next to you. What are some of the things that you've liked out of your defense so far this summer?
I like the leadership. Addison Tucker has given tremendous leadership. I'm very big on the discipline and leadership of our team since the first day I walked in the door, and he's abide by what I've asked him to do, and understand that it's a process, and they'll laugh at you when I say that, because I'm always telling them it's a process and what we got planned for us to achieve where we're trying to go. Defensively, defense coordinator Phil Pitts has done a great job pushing these guys during the spring. He kept them together, and the guys who made it. The guys who didn't, they've moved on. But I think we have a great core with what we already had here from a lot of returners that we got. But we added some additions to the defense to make sure that we become even stronger. The leadership that they have on the defense has been solid because Addison is a senior. He's been here for a while, so he sees the change in what we're trying to get going. But we're going to be physical. We're going to be a dominant defense. We're going to attack. We're going to play lights out, and we're going to go hunting. Every game is about hunting and stalking the prey and getting it done. So I believe that they understand what I'm looking for defensively. Coach Pitts has put it in their mind what we're looking for, how we're going to be smart, we're going to be tough, we're going to be disciplined, but we're going to go hunting every week and make sure we shut people down and be aggressive in what we're doing.
Addison, you are arguably one of the most active defenders on last year's squad, registering 92 tackles, 52 solo tackles, and 7.5 for losses. Now coming back as a senior, you actually have a lot of familiar faces with you on the defensive side of the ball. Talk about how nice it is to have some of those players back with you this year and what it means to you having those guys with you.
It's a great feeling to be able to look to my left and look to my right, and to know that these are guys that have been here with me, some a year, some since we were freshmen. But just to have a familiar face beside you and have someone that you know is going to fight with you no matter what happens and no matter what goes down, your brother's going to have your back. It's one of the greatest feelings you can have playing this sport.
Coach, share your thoughts on special teams. It's always big during the course of a year. You always need a guy to maybe get you a field goal here, field position in the punting game. Talk about some of those roles this year and who's going to be filling some of those roles out for you.
We bring in Yoki Betancourt. He's going to be our kicker this year. You have Brent Wrigley, who's going to be our long snapper. There are two guys that we just focus directly on special teams. The other thing that we're doing is we got a lot of young guys that we come in, a lot of freshmen and guys who are playing who are not starters right now, who are competing to be starters, but if they don't make the position, they'll be number two, but they will be starters on special teams. So it keeps our defense and our offense fresh. We're not trying to have the guys that we put on defense and offense be, starters on special teams if we got guys that's just as good behind them that can play the position and start on special teams. So that's one of the biggest things that we've pushed this spring and talked about. So I think that's going to help us be solid in all three phases of the game, especially special teams, which is very important. I've asked our guys, to make sure that they understand if they're not a starter on offense and defense and they are a starter on special teams, understand how important that is. That phase of the game is just as important as offense and defense. And if they do that and they understand that and take pride in what they're doing, I think we'll be very successful in that phase of the game as well.
Final question, Coach. Although you're bringing a fresh look to Lincoln this year, change has already come to the football field as an extensive project's been undertaken at Dwight Reed Stadium. Talk a little bit about some of those changes for you and your program.
Right now, we move into the new facility here probably the 7th or the 8th, somewhere around there. We're just waiting on the furniture to come in. So we have brand new coaches' offices. We have a brand new locker room, brand new coaches' locker room. We have meeting rooms. So, it's called the Link. So that's where our new football headquarters is at right now. And it's unbelievable when you go in there and actually take a look at it. As well as, they're putting up brand new lights, which I saw them taking the light poles down yesterday. They got about 60 yards of turf down already right now, so brand new turf field. The scoreboard poles that's holding the scoreboard up right now, so it'll be a brand new digital scoreboard and everything. I was actually in IT. They were talking about IT. It's so technical. IT has to run the scoreboard, where the last one, anybody can run it. So it's a lot going on right now, and that's what makes it more genuine. Lincoln University, Blue Tigers is putting, the money up to make sure that the football program is successful. So it is my job, because they give me the keys to that, to make sure that I heed what they're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to accomplish as a team. We have a goal set for ourselves as a team, and for us, it's all or nothing. We're trying to achieve. We're trying to come out on top, and it's all or nothing for us. We're not trying to come in and just win 1 or 2 games or 3 games or anything like that, or be 500. I can say that. Our goal is to push to a national championship. That's what we want. That's what we're striving for, and that's what I've talked about since day one. So what we have to do that is we got to be successful in the spring and in the summer, and they've done that. Now we got to go put it on the field and fine-tune things in fall camp and be ready to play Langston University on September 2nd.
Coach Anthony Addison, thank you so much for joining us today. Up next on the GLVC Sports Network, the Cardinals of William Jewell will join us after this sports break. You're watching live coverage of the 2017 GLVC kickoff event powered by Sling Studio on the GLVC Sports Network, where champions are crowned.